Hot sun. Busy street. A shiny car stops. A rich man steps out. In a fine suit. A tired old woman runs to him. Her wrapper is torn. Her feet are dusty. "My son, David." She smiles. She tries to hug him. He pushes her away. "I don't know." "This poor woman," he shouts. People watch. Phones record. She falls to the ground, crying. He turns his back, without care, not knowing. One day, he will cry. At her feet. Subscribe for more real African stories like David's. The afternoon sun was hot on the streets of Lagos. The big mall was busy. Cars came in and out. Security men stood straight. Rich people laughed and took photos. David stepped out of the mall. He wore a clean suit. Dark glasses covered his eyes. His shoes shined on the floor. People knew his face. Some whispered his name. Some lifted phones to record him. David walked with pride. His head was high. His steps were fast. This place was his world now. Money. Power. Not far away, an old woman stood by the road. Her name was Mama Rose. Her wrapper was old and torn. Her slippers were weak and dusty. She held a small nylon bag in her hand. Inside were dry fish and garden food. Mama Rose looked tired. Her back was bent. One hand held her waist in pain. She had walked a long way. Sweat ran down her face. But her eyes were full of hope. She saw David. Her heart jumped. Her legs shook. She smiled like a child. She moved closer. Slowly, carefully. "David," she called. Her voice was low but full of joy. "My son." David stopped. He turned fast. His smile faded. Mama Rose came closer. She touched his arm. Her hand was rough, but her touch was warm. "My son," she said again. "You have grown so big. God has blessed you." Some people nearby smiled. They thought it was sweet. A mother proud of her son. David felt heat on his face. He looked around. Cameras were up. Friends were close. If this story touched your heart, subscribe now and follow David's journey. This is just the beginning. One of his rich friends leaned in. He spoke low. "Bro, who is this woman? Your village maid?" David pulled his arm away. "Fast. Hard. Don't touch me," he whispered. "Not here." Mama Rose froze. Her smile died. "David," she said softly. "I am your mother." David's chest beat fast. Anger rose in him. Shame burned his heart. He raised his voice. Loud enough for all to hear. "My mother? My mother is dead. I don't know this woman." The crowd went quiet. Phones shook. Mouths opened. A man in the crowd spoke. Ah! Ah! How can you talk like that?" "Where?" Where?" Mama Rose felt the ground move. Her legs failed. She fell to her knees. She held David's trousers. Tears ran down her face. "I suffered for you," she cried. "I went hungry for you. I slept on cold floor for you." David looked down. His eyes were cold. He kicked her hand away. "Leave me," he shouted. He turned to security. "Take this mad woman away from me." 2 security men rushed in. They grabbed Mama Rose. Women nearby cried. One woman wiped her eyes. Another shook her head. "My sister," one said. "Stand up. God sees you." Mama Rose did not fight. She let them pull her. Her voice was weak. "I have no son," she said. The security dragged her away. People watched in shock. Some still recorded. David fixed his suit. He put on his glasses. He walked away like nothing happened. Behind him, a mother's heart lay broken on the ground. That day, a rich man chose pride, and a poor woman paid the price. But the world did not know one thing yet. That moment was not over. It was only the beginning. The crowd slowly began to move again. Cars started their engines. Life returned to the street. But Mama Rose was gone. David entered his black car. The door closed with a hard sound. The engine roared. The car drove away. Inside the car, it was quiet. Too quiet. David leaned back. His heart was still beating fast. He removed his glasses. His eyes were dark. His friend laughed softly. "Bro, that was close," he said. "Some village drama?" David forced a smile. "Yes," he said. "Yes, just nonsense." But his chest felt tight. The car passed tall buildings. Glass walls shined under the sun. This was the city David loved. No mud. No dust. No past. He reached his office. A big building with his name on it. Security opened the door. Staff bowed with respect. "Good afternoon, sir," they said. David nodded. Power filled him again. The street scene faded from his mind. Up in his office, contracts waited. Phones rang. Assistants moved fast. "Sir," his assistant said, "your meeting is ready." David straightened his suit. "Yes. Let us begin." The meeting was smooth. Money talked. Deals closed. People praised him. "You are sharp," one man said. "You came from nothing to everything." David smiled. "Yes," he said. "Yes, I am self-made." His words felt strong. They always did. Far away, on the other side of the city, Mama Rose sat by the road. Her body hurt. Her knees shook. Her chest felt empty. A woman from the market helped her sit. She gave her water. "Drink," the woman said softly. Mama Rose drank slowly. Tears fell into the cup. "My son," she whispered. "My own son." The woman shook her head. "God will judge," she said. Mama Rose stood up slowly. She picked her nylon bag. Some food had fallen out. It lay on the dirty ground. She bent down. Her back screamed in pain. But she picked it up. That food was for David. Food from the village. Food made with love. Now it meant nothing. Mama Rose walked away from the road. Each step was heavy. Each step hurt. She entered a small bus. The seat was hard. The bus shook on the road. She closed her eyes. Memories came. David as a small boy, running barefoot, laughing, crying in her arms. She remembered hunger, cold nights, long walks to the farm. She remembered saying, "One day, you will be great. One day, one day, one day." She did not know greatness would cost her this pain. The bus reached the village at night. Mama Rose stepped down slowly. The air was quiet. Crickets sang. Her small house waited. Mud walls. Old roof. She entered. She dropped her bag. She sat on the floor. She did not cry loud. Her tears came slow, silent. "I have no son," she said again. In the city, David stood by his window. Lights filled the night. The city looked alive. His phone buzzed. A news clip played. A small video from the mall. He watched it for 1 second. Then he closed it. "No," he said. "I am done with that life." He poured a drink. He raised the glass. "To success," he said, but his hand shook. That night, 2 hearts stayed awake. One in a big glass house. One in a small mud room. One heart was full of pride. One heart was full of pain. Years would pass. Money would grow. Fame would rise. But deep under all of it, a truth was waiting. A truth from the past. And one day, that truth would bring the billionaire back to the ground. And years passed. The city changed. David changed more. His name was everywhere now. On billboards. On TV. On magazines. His office was high in the sky. Glass walls. Cold air. Soft carpets. David sat behind a wide desk. Papers were stacked neat. A gold pen lay beside him. His assistant entered with a smile. "Sir," she said, "you are now among the top 5 richest men in the country." David leaned back. He smiled slow. Pride filled his chest. "Good," he said. "That is where I belong." Outside, staff clapped. Some whispered his name with fear, some with respect. David walked through the office. People stood up, heads bowed. "Good morning, sir." "Welcome, sir." This life pleased him. This life was clean. No dust. No past. That afternoon, a TV crew arrived. Cameras. Lights. Makeup. David sat in a soft chair. The host smiled wide. "Sir David," the host said, "many young people admire you." David nodded. "I am thankful," he said. The host leaned forward. "Did your parents help you? Did they support your journey?" David did not pause. His voice was firm. "No," he said. "I am self-made. I came from nothing." The crowd clapped. Cameras flashed. David smiled again. A clean lie. Easy. Smooth. Inside. Something moved, but he pushed it down. After the show, staff praised him. "Powerful words, sir." "Inspiring." David nodded. "Yes," he said. "That is my story." That evening, David attended a charity event. Bright hall. Soft music. Rich guests. Orphans stood in a line. Cameras faced them. David handed out food packs. Small ones. Always respect your parents, he said to the camera. They are your root. People clapped. Social media smiled. David smiled too, but his eyes stayed empty. Later that night, he returned home. His mansion was large, too large. Lights turned on by touch. Walls were white and quiet. David walked alone. His footsteps echoed. He sat on a couch. He loosened his tie. A photo frame stood nearby. An old photo. A small boy, barefoot, standing beside a woman. David looked at it for a second. Then he turned it face down. No, he whispered. That life is gone. The next morning, David signed more deals. Banks trusted him. Partners chased him. Money came fast. Very fast. People called him humble. People called him blessed. David believed them. Far away, deep in the village, a woman woke up before dawn. Mama Rose stepped outside her mud house. The air was cold. Her bones ached. She wrapped her cloth tight. She picked a small bowl. She knelt on the ground. God, she prayed. Keep my son safe. Forgive him. Touch his heart. She stood slowly. Pain crossed her face. She walked to the roadside. She roasted corn. She sold groundnuts. Cars passed fast. No one noticed her. A village elder stopped by. He looked at her with soft eyes. A tree knows its root, he said. One day it will remember. Mama Rose smiled weak. Even if he hates me, she said, I will still bless him. Back in the city, David laughed in a meeting. He did not hear her prayer. He did not feel her pain. He was building an empire. Tall, wide, strong, but he did not know one thing. The ground under his success was not as firm as he thought. And while he rose higher each day, something from the past was slowly waiting to pull him down. Life moved fast for David, very fast. Weeks turned to months, months turned to years. His company grew wide. New buildings rose. Glass towers touched the sky. David stood on rooftops and smiled. This is my city, he said. He bought land, large land, prime land. Lawyers handled papers. Assistants handled calls. David only signed. He never asked questions. Everything is clear, they told him. Everything is safe. David trusted them. One morning, he stood in a meeting room. A big screen showed plans. This is our main land, an officer said. Our future projects will start here. David nodded. Good, he said. That land is the heart of my empire. People clapped. He felt proud, very proud. That same day, in the village, Mama Rose returned from the road late. Her feet were swollen. Her back was stiff. She sold little that day. Very little. She entered her house and sat down. She breathed slow. She looked around. Mud walls. Old roof. She did not complain. She cooked small food. She ate little. Then she took out a small wooden box. Old. Cracked. Inside were old papers, wrapped in cloth. She touched them gently. Like a child. These are all I have, she said. She did not read them. She could not read well, but she knew one thing. That land behind her house was not free land. It belonged to her family. Her late husband had bought it long ago. He paid in full. He kept the papers safe. Mama Rose never thought much about it. Land was land. Life was life. She lay down to sleep. In the city, David attended another event, a government dinner. Men in suits, women in fine dresses. A minister shook David's hand. You are doing well, he said. We like investors like you. David smiled. I am ready to help, he said. The minister nodded. We will work together. David felt proud again. His phone rang. His lawyer. Sir, the lawyer said. About the main land. David frowned. What about it? Nothing serious, the lawyer said. Just routine checks. David waved it off. Handle it, he said. I am busy. He ended the call. Later that night, David sat alone again. The city lights shined below. He drank slowly. He thought of nothing. In the village, Mama Rose woke up coughing. Her chest burned. She sat up. She held her chest. God, she whispered, give me strength. The next day, a car entered the village. With a logo, people gathered. They pointed. Men stepped out, files in hand. They asked questions. They checked borders. They measured land. Mama Rose watched from her door. One man walked to her. Good morning, Mama, he said. Good morning, she replied. We are checking land records, he said. Do you know who owns this land? Mama Rose nodded. My husband bought it, she said. It is ours. The man wrote something down. He nodded. David's story is getting deeper and painful. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. You need to see how David's pride will be tested. Thank you, he said. The car drove away. Mama Rose felt strange, but she returned to her work. Back in the city, David laughed with friends. He spoke of new plans, new money. He felt untouchable, but somewhere, papers were opening, names were being read, and a truth was rising quietly. A truth David did not expect. The land he called his future. The land holding his empire. It did not truly belong to him, and very soon, that truth would come knocking on his glass door. The village was quiet that morning. Dust rested on the road. Chickens crossed slowly. Mama Rose swept the front of her house. Her back bent more than before. She stopped many times to rest. A sound broke the silence. A car horn. Then another. 2 government cars stopped near her land. Men stepped out. They wore plain clothes. They carried files. People gathered. They whispered. One man walked to Mama Rose. He smiled politely. "Good morning, Mama," he said. "Good morning," she replied. "We are from the land office," he said. "We are checking records." Mama Rose nodded. "Sit," she said. "There is shade." They sat on small stools. One man opened a file. Old papers lay inside. "Do you know this land?" he asked. "Yes," Mama Rose said. "My husband bought it long ago." The man nodded. He checked the paper again. "Mama," he said slowly, "this land is in your name." Mama Rose looked confused. "In my name?" she asked. "Not my son's?" The man shook his head. "No," he said. "It is yours. Only yours. One. 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 Her hands shook. She pressed them together. "I did not know," she said. "I only lived here." The man smiled softly. "Sometimes," he said, "power sleeps quietly." They thanked her and stood up. Before leaving, one man spoke again. "There is a plan," he said. "The government wants to build a hospital here." Mama Rose gasped. "A hospital?" she asked. "Yes," he said. "But first, we must speak to the owner." The cars drove away. Dust rose behind them. Mama Rose sat down slowly. Her heart beat fast. "A hospital," she whispered. "On this poor land?" She looked around. Children ran barefoot. Sick people passed by the road. Her eyes filled with tears. Not of pain, of thought. Far away in the city, David sat in his office. The door burst open. His lawyer rushed in. "Sir," the lawyer said, "we have a problem." David frowned. "What problem?" he asked. "The main land," the lawyer said. "It is under review." David stood up. "What do you mean, review? That land is ours." The lawyer opened his laptop. He turned the screen. "These are the papers," he said. "They show the owner." David leaned closer. He read the name. Rose Naji. His breath stopped. "That is impossible," David said. "She is nothing." The lawyer swallowed. "She is the legal owner," he said. David's hands shook. "Fix it," he said sharply. "Buy it. Change it." The lawyer shook his head. "We cannot rush this," he said. "The government is involved." David slammed the desk. "Call them," he shouted. The lawyer dialed. He put the call on speaker. "Sir," a calm voice said, "we must speak to the owner directly." David clenched his fist. "You mean that woman?" he asked. "Yes," the voice said. "Mama Rose." The call ended. David dropped into his chair. His chest felt tight. For the first time in years, fear touched him. The woman he denied, the woman he threw away, she now stood between him and everything he built. And to save his empire, he would have to face her again. David did not sleep that night. He walked around his office, back and forth, back and forth. The city lights outside looked cold, not friendly like before. His phone buzzed again. Another message from his lawyer. "Sir, the ministry is firm. They will not change the papers. They want to meet the owner." Fing. David dropped the phone on the table. His chest rose and fell fast. "That woman," he said. "That poor woman." Memories rushed in. The mall, the crowd, her tears. He shook his head hard. "No," he said. I will not beg. The next morning, David called his team. They filled the room. Find her, he said. Offer money. A lot. One man spoke. Sir. What if she refuses? David laughed, cold and sharp. No poor person refuses money, he said. In the village, Mama Rose sat under a tree. The sun was warm. Children played nearby. Her chest still hurt. She coughed softly. The village elder came again. He sat beside her. They came again today, he said. Government people. Mama Rose nodded. They told me the land is mine, she said. The elder looked at her. His eyes were serious. Be careful, he said. Big men do not like small people with power. Mama Rose smiled weakly. I have no power, she said. Only God. That afternoon, a car arrived. Not government. Private. A young man stepped out. Clean clothes. Polite smile. Mama, he said. I came from your son. Mama Rose's heart jumped. My son? She asked. Yes, he said. He wants to help you. He brought out papers and an envelope. Thick. Sign here, he said. This money is for you. You can live well. Mama Rose looked at the envelope. She did not touch it. Where is my son? She asked. The man cleared his throat. He is busy, he said. Mama Rose stood up slowly. Her body shook. Tell him, she said, that my heart is not for sale. The man looked shocked. Mama, this is a lot of money, he said. Mama Rose shook her head. Go, she said. The man left. Dust followed the car. In the city, David heard the news. His face turned red. She refused? He shouted. Impossible. He threw a glass at the wall. It broke. Fine, he said. I will go myself. His lawyer tried to speak. Sir. Enough, David shouted. 2 days later, David's convoy left the city. Big cars. Dark glass. The road changed. Tall buildings faded. Dust rose. David looked out the window. His face was tight. This place, he said. I left it for a reason. Children ran after the cars. Laughing. Shouting. The convoy stopped. David stepped out. His shoes touched dust. He looked around with dislike. This village, he muttered. Still the same. He walked toward a small mud house. Old. Cracked. Inside, Mama Rose was praying. She heard footsteps. She looked up. David stood at the door. Clean suit. Cold eyes. My son, she whispered. David did not answer. He looked around. We need to talk about the land, he said. Mama Rose held her stool. Her heart shook. So now, she said, you remember me? David placed a big envelope on the table. Sign, he said. I will build you a better house. Mama Rose looked at the envelope, then at his face. You threw me on the ground, she said. Money cannot lift my heart from the dust. David's jaw tightened. I am busy, he said. Do not waste my time. Mama Rose stood straight, as much as she could. If you still have no mother, she said. Then go. David froze. For the first time, he felt it. Fear. Because without her hand, without her name, everything he built could fall. David stood still for a long moment. Dust moved around his shoes. The village felt small, too small for his anger. Mama Rose did not move. She stood by the table. Her hands shook, but her eyes were strong. David picked up the envelope. He pushed it back into his bag. You will regret this, he said. His voice was hard. Mama Rose looked at him. Her voice was calm. I already lost everything, she said. You cannot take more. David turned away. He walked out fast. Outside, the sun burned. Children stopped playing. They watched him. David entered his SUV. The door slammed. Drive, he said. The cars moved. Dust rose behind them. David leaned back. His heart beat fast. Not from anger, from fear. For the first time, money did not answer him. The convoy left the village. Silence returned. Mama Rose sat down slowly. Her knees were weak. She closed her eyes. God, she whispered, give me strength. That night, David reached the city. His mansion felt empty again. He threw his jacket on the couch. He paced the floor. His phone rang. The lawyer. Sir, the lawyer said. The ministry has sent a notice. David stopped walking. What notice? He asked. A deadline. The lawyer said. If the owner does not sign, the land will return to the state. David felt cold. When? He asked. 30 days, the lawyer replied. The call ended. David sank into a chair. 30 days. His empire rested on that land. Buildings, loans, promises, all tied to one name, Rose Naji. The next morning, news spread. Government plans leaked. Blogs wrote stories. Small ones at first. Major land review ongoing. David ignored them. He went to meetings. He smiled. He signed papers. But his mind was far. At night, sleep left him. He saw her face. The mall. The crowd. He saw her on her knees. He shook his head. No. He said, I am not weak. Days passed. More calls came. Banks asked questions. Partners grew quiet. Is everything okay? They asked. Yes, David lied. Just routine. In the village, Mama Rose felt sick. Her cough grew worse. Neighbors brought herbs. They brought soup. Rest, they said. She rested, but worry stayed. Government men returned again. They were polite. Mama, one said, we will come again soon. She nodded. At night, she prayed. Not for land, not for money, for peace. Back in the city, David's anger grew. He shouted at staff. He fired 2 people. Fix this, he yelled. But nothing moved. One evening, David found the old photo again. The small boy, the woman. He picked it up. His hands shook. Mama, he whispered. Then he dropped the frame. It broke. David covered his face. He breathed hard. 30 days, then 20, then 15. The walls began to close, and deep inside, David knew the truth. This problem was not about land. It was about a heart he broke and never fixed. The pressure grew each day. Emails came in lines. Calls came without rest. David stopped smiling. One morning, his board met in silence. Men in suits sat stiff. A man cleared his throat. Our partners are nervous, he said. David frowned. About what? He asked. The land, another said. Rumors are spreading. David stood up. Rumors mean nothing, he said. But inside, his heart beat fast. That afternoon, a video surfaced online. An old one. It showed a busy mall. A rich man. An old woman. David watched his own face on the screen. Cold. Hard. He heard his own voice. My mother is dead. The video spread fast. Very fast. Comments poured in. This is the man. He denied his own mother. Shame. David threw his phone away. Phones rang non-stop. Partners called. Sponsors left. We are pulling out, one said. Your image is bad. David's world shook. His stock dropped. Numbers turned red. At home, his mansion felt empty. Lights were on, but life was gone. He walked through the long halls. No sound. No laughter. He entered his study. Old boxes lay there. He opened one. Inside was a worn shirt. His school book. A small bowl. His chest tightened. He sat on the floor. His head dropped. For the first time, tears came. Mama, he whispered. I'm sorry. His voice broke. That night, rain fell. Hard, heavy. David did not sleep. In the village, Mama Rose also lay awake. Rain dripped through the roof. She coughed. Her chest hurt. She touched the ground. God, she said. Your will. The next day, David did not go to the office. He stayed home. News played on TV. Major investor leaves company. He turned it off. He looked at his reflection. Eyes red. Face tired. He remembered his childhood. Bare feet. Warm hands. He remembered her back. Bent from work. He stood up. I cannot run anymore, he said. He called his driver. No convoy, he said. Just the small car. The driver looked surprised. Yes, sir. David dressed simple. No suit. No watch. He stepped out. As the car moved, the city faded behind him. Tall buildings gave way to dust. This time, David did not complain. He watched children run. He felt small. The car stopped at the village edge. Wait here, David said. He stepped down. Dust covered his shoes. He walked slowly, each step heavy. People stared. They whispered, that is him. David reached the mud house. He stopped. His hands shook. For the first time in his life, the billionaire felt poor. Poor in heart. Poor in peace. He took off his shoes. He stood at the door. And before he knocked, his knees began to bend. David stayed on his knees for a short time, but he did not enter yet. His heart was beating hard. He stood up slowly. He knocked once. No answer. He knocked again. Soft this time. Inside, Mama Rose was lying on a mat. Her breathing was weak. Her eyes were closed. A neighbor woman sat beside her. She wiped her face with cloth. "Mama," the woman said. "Someone is at the door." Mama Rose opened her eyes slowly. Her body felt heavy. "Who?" she asked. The woman looked through the door gap. She froze. "It is him," she whispered. Mama Rose closed her eyes again. She said nothing. Outside, David waited. Each second felt long. The door did not open. Behind him, murmurs grew. Villagers gathered. "That is the man," someone said. "The rich one." David felt their eyes. He felt small. His phone rang. He ignored it. It rang again. And again. Finally, he answered. It was his lawyer. "Sir," the lawyer said. "Fast. We are losing everything." David closed his eyes. "The ministry has issued final notice," the lawyer continued. 10 days left. David said nothing. "Banks are freezing accounts," the lawyer added. "More partners are leaving." "Why?" David ended the call. His hand dropped. 10 days. Inside the house, Mama Rose spoke. Her voice was weak. "Tell him," she said, "to go." The neighbor opened the door a little. She stepped out. "Mama says you should leave," she told David. David nodded slowly. "I understand," he said. He turned away. He walked back to the car. This time, no pride walked with him, only shame. The car drove back to the city. On the road, David stared out the window. Fields passed. Houses passed. His phone buzzed again. News alerts. Billionaire empire in trouble. Investors pull out. He felt dizzy. Back in the city, chaos waited. Staff packed boxes. Security argued with reporters. Cameras flashed. "Sir, is it true? Did you deny your mother?" David pushed through. He said nothing. In the boardroom, anger filled the air. "This is over," one investor said. "You lied to the public." Another stood. "We are done." Chairs moved. Doors slammed. David stood alone. He looked around the empty room. This room once praised him. Now it judged him. At home that night, power went off. Generators stayed silent. David sat in darkness. He held his head. "What have I done?" he whispered. In the village, Mama Rose woke up coughing hard. Her chest burned. The neighbor held her. "Mama, hold on," she said. Mama Rose nodded weakly. "Call the pastor," she said. "And the elder." They came. They prayed. Mama Rose opened her eyes. "Tell him," she whispered. "I forgave him long ago." Her breath slowed. The elder looked worried. In the city, David felt sudden fear. Deep fear. Not of money. Not of land. Of loss. He grabbed his keys. He ran out. "No car," he said. "I will go now." Rain started to fall. Hard. David drove fast. His phone buzzed one last time. A message from the village. "Mama Rose is very sick." David's hands shook on the wheel. The road ahead was dark. Rain hit the glass. And for the first time, the billionaire prayed. "God," he said, "do not let me be too late." Rain poured like tears from the sky. The road was dark and slippery. David drove fast, but careful. His hands shook on the wheel. His eyes burned. "Mama," he whispered, "please wait." The car hit a pothole. It jumped hard. David slowed down. He breathed deep. He remembered her hands. Rough. Warm. He remembered her voice. Soft. Tired. The village lights appeared far ahead. Small. Weak. David's heart jumped. He parked the car and ran. Rain soaked his shirt. Mud stained his trousers. People stood outside the house. They whispered. "Is she gone?" David asked. His voice shook. No one answered. He pushed the door open. Inside was quiet. Mama Rose lay on a mat. Her eyes were closed. Her chest moved slow. A small lamp burned near her. David fell to his knees. Hard. "Mama," he cried. "I am here." She did not answer. He held her hand. It was cold. "I am sorry," he said. "I was foolish. I was blind." Tears fell on her hand. "Mama, open your eyes," he begged. "Please." For a moment, nothing happened. Then her fingers moved. Just a little. David froze. "Mama," he whispered. Her eyes opened slowly. Very slowly. She looked at him. Her face was weak, but calm. "My son," she said. Her voice was low. David broke down. He bent his head to the ground. I denied you, he cried. I denied myself. I have no peace. Mama Rose raised her hand. With effort, she touched his head. Stand, she said softly. David shook his head. I cannot, he said. Not yet. I forgive you, she said. Her voice faded in and out. David looked up fast. Tears covered his face. You do? He asked. Yes, she said. A mother's heart is wide. He held her feet tight. I will give back everything, he said. The land. All. Mama Rose breathed deep. Listen, she said. Use the land. Help the poor. Build the hospital. David nodded again and again. I will, he said. I swear. She closed her eyes. Her hand slipped from his head. Mama, David cried. The elder checked her breath. He nodded slowly. She needs care, he said. Now. They rushed her to a small clinic. Rain followed them. David sat outside. His clothes were wet. His heart was raw. Hours passed. The doctor came out. She is stable, he said. But weak. David exhaled. Long. Heavy. He sat on the ground. Mud did not matter anymore. At sunrise, news hit the city. Stocks crashed. Buildings closed. David's empire fell fast, but David did not look back. He stayed by her side. Day and night. He fed her. He cleaned her. No cameras. No news. Only mother and son. One morning, Mama Rose smiled. You came back, she said. Yes, David replied. And I will not leave again. But outside that small room, the world waited. Banks, courts, the land, everything stood still. And one final choice would decide if the billionaire would fall forever or rise again. As a different man, morning light entered the small clinic. Soft and calm, Mama Rose slept on the bed. Her breathing was slow, steady. David sat beside her. He had not slept. His eyes were red, but his face was calm. For the first time in years, his heart felt quiet. A nurse entered. She is stronger today, she said. David nodded. Thank you. Mama Rose opened her eyes. She looked at him. You stayed, she said. Yes, Mama, David replied. I will stay. She smiled faintly. Later that day, government officers came. Simple cars. No noise. They greeted Mama Rose with respect. Mama, one said, we need your decision about the land. Mama Rose looked at David, then back at them. I will sign, she said. But listen well. The men leaned closer. This land, she said, will not be for pride. It will not be for greed. They nodded. It must help the poor, she continued. A hospital. For everyone. The men agreed. David stood up. His voice was low. I will do it, he said. In her name. The papers were brought. Mama Rose signed slowly. Her hand shook, but her heart was firm. When it was done, she closed her eyes. David held her hand. Thank you, Mama, he said. Weeks passed. Construction began. Bulldozers moved. Walls rose. David sold some of his houses. He paid debts. He wore simple clothes now. He spoke less. The media came. He sent them away. No cameras, he said. This is not for show. In the village. People watched in wonder. A hospital rose where dust once lay. Mama Rose sat under a tree. She watched workers move. Children greeted her. Mama, they called. She smiled. One day, the building was ready. Clean. White. A small sign stood outside. Mama Rose Community Hospital. David stood before it. No suit. No pride. He looked at his mother. This is your name, he said. Mama Rose nodded. Tears filled her eyes. You found your way back, she said. David held her hand. I was lost, he said. But you waited. Inside the hospital, sick people came. They were helped. Free. David worked there too. He carried water. He helped nurses. People did not recognize him at first. Later, news spread. The billionaire serves in his own hospital. David did not deny it. He did not explain. At night, he prayed. Thank you, he said. Mama Rose's health grew better. Slowly, she laughed more. She slept well. One evening, she called David close. My son, she said, never forget. I won't, he said. She touched his face. No matter how high you rise, she said. Do not step on the hands that lifted you. David bowed his head. That night, peace rested on the village, and for the first time, David slept. Not as a billionaire, but as a son. The hospital opened on a bright morning. Sunlight filled the yard. People gathered early. Old men, women with babies, young boys with bandaged feet. Mama Rose sat in front, a simple cloth on her head. Her smile was gentle. David stood beside her. No suit, no guard. The nurse cut the ribbon. People clapped. A sick child was brought in first. The doctors moved fast. The child cried, then calmed. Mama Rose watched. Tears rolled down her cheeks. This is good, she said. Very good. Days passed. The hospital stayed busy. People came from far villages. No one was turned away. David worked there each day. He cleaned floors. He carried patients. Some people whispered, "Is that not the rich man?" David smiled only. He lived in a small house now, close to the hospital. At night, he sat outside. He watched the stars. Mama Rose joined him. "You look peaceful," she said. "Yes, Mama," David replied. "I am free." One evening, news people came again. Cameras ready. They asked David to speak. He shook his head. "This place is not about me," he said. "It is about her." He pointed to Mama Rose. The cameras turned. Mama Rose spoke softly. "I had one son," she said. "I lost him to pride, but love brought him back." The people listened. Quiet. David felt tears again, but these were soft tears. Time moved on. The hospital saved many lives. Children ran healthy again. Mothers smiled. David's old friends heard the story. Some came to see. Some felt shame. David did not judge them. He learned to forgive. One morning, David found the old photo again. The boy, the woman. This time, he hung it on the wall. Mama Rose saw it. She nodded. "That is where you started," she said. David smiled. Years later, Mama Rose passed quietly in her sleep. No pain, no fear. The whole village cried. David stood strong, but his heart hurt. He named the children's wing after her. He planted trees. Every year, he returned to the village. He helped more people. He never hid his past again. When young men asked him, "How did you rise so high?" David answered simply, "I fell first," he said, "and I was lifted by the woman I once pushed away." No matter how far you rise, never step on the feet that helped you walk. A tree that forgets its root will one day beg the root for water. If David's story taught you something today, subscribe for more real African stories like this. Never miss a lesson. Never miss a story.